This wasn't the first time the world nearly tore itself apart. And honestly, it might not be the last. Back in 1945, two entire cities vanished in seconds. In 1962, just one ship, one small spark, almost lit the fuse for World War III. And here we are, in 2025, with missiles still ready, waiting in silence. Just one wrong move away.
Russia has launched its largest single drone and missile attack.
Iran launching a massive aerial attack on Israel.
Tensions between mainland China and Taiwan.
From the tension choking Ukraine, to the fears gripping Taiwan. From the heartbreak in Gaza, to Israel-Iran. To the quiet dread in Korea, peace feels like thin glass. Beautiful, but dangerously fragile. And in 1983, that fragile glass almost shattered. Because one tiny mistake, a flicker on a screen, nearly ended everything. You've probably never heard the name Stanislav Petrov, but one night he quietly held the fate of the entire world in his hands. No weapons, no battlefield, just a decision, one that would mean life or death for all of us. And because of what he chose, you're here, I'm here. The world didn't end, but to understand how close we came, we need to go back to the moment humanity first learned how to destroy itself. Back in the 1930s, scientists made a discovery that would change everything. They unlocked the atom, the tiniest building block of matter, and they found out it could be split. And when it splits, it releases an unbelievable amount of energy, enough to light up a city or wipe one off the map. At first, it was just science, but then fear crept in. Nazi Germany was on the rise.
Du, meine Arbeit für Richtigkeit.
And some of the world's greatest minds, including Einstein himself, sent a warning to President Roosevelt. They might be building a bomb. And that's when it started. The Manhattan Project.
Let not dictators of Europe or Asia doubt our unanimity now.
A top-secret race to create the most powerful weapon the world had ever seen. In 1945, they tested it. Out in the desert, the ground shook.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
and in that moment, humanity crossed a line it could never uncross. Then came the real bombs. 2 of them, dropped on Japan, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. In an instant, over 200,000 lives gone. Shadows burned into walls where people once stood. Entire cities just vanished. Skin melted. Families gone in a flash of light and fire. The world had seen what splitting the atom could really do. And from that moment on, it could never unsee it. World War II ended. But peace? Peace never really came. Instead, a new kind of war began. One with no front lines, just tension and fear. The Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union, both armed to the teeth with thousands of nuclear warheads, aimed them straight at each other, like 2 men with loaded guns, staring down the barrel. To stay safe, they built machines, systems that could detect a launch and fire back in seconds. The idea was simple and terrifying. If one side attacks, both sides die. No winner, just ashes. It was called mutually assured destruction. And the only thing holding it all together was the hope that no one would be the first to pull the trigger. September 1983. A civilian airliner, Korean Air Flight 007, accidentally enters Soviet airspace. The Soviets shoot it down. "269 civilians die. The world holds its breath. The U.S. calls it murder. The Soviets say it was a spy plane.
Korean airline massacre. The attack by the Soviet Union against 269 innocent men, women, and children aboard an unarmed Korean passenger plane. This crime against humanity must never be forgotten."
Just 3 weeks later, everything almost ends. In a bunker near Moscow, Stanislav Petrov was on duty. He monitored early warning satellites for U.S. missiles. Suddenly, the alarm screamed. Five American missiles, it said, were incoming. Protocol said, reported immediately. That would trigger a counterattack. World War III. But Petrov hesitated. Why only 5 missiles? Why not hundreds? It didn't make sense. He trusted his instinct. He broke protocol. He waited. He was right. It was a false alarm. Sunlight had reflected off clouds, tricking the system. If Petrov had followed orders, the Soviet Union would have launched. The U.S. would strike back. Cities gone. Billions dead. Skies black with ash. Nuclear winter. Collapse. Silence forever. Petrov never saw himself as a hero.
I'm not a hero. I was just in the right place at the right time.
He died in 2017, alone in a small Russian apartment. No medals, no parades, just peace and silence. But because he chose to think instead of obey, the world continued. His story was hidden. The Soviet military classified the event. He was scolded, not praised. They said he broke procedure. He left the service. No news, no credit. Only later did the truth begin to leak out. After the Soviet collapse, the secret files emerged. Historians were stunned. One man had saved the planet with a single pause. He was invited to the UN, given small peace prizes. But still, most of the world never heard his name. Petrov wasn't trained for diplomacy, but he had something better. Instinct. He said, no one starts a nuclear war with 5 missiles. He trusted reason over machines. And that made all the difference. Today, the danger hasn't vanished. AI now helps monitor threats. Missiles fly faster. Warning time is shorter. More nations, more weapons. The risk is no longer Cold War, but chaos. Petrov wasn't alone. 1962, Cuban Missile Crisis. 1979, U.S. training tape mistaken for real attack. 1995, Russia nearly launched over a Norwegian weather rocket. Again and again, disaster was just minutes away. We learned that systems fail, that fear spreads, that machines can lie. But world leaders still believe in deterrence through threat, still keep the red button close. But nuclear war has no winners, only shadows. In the end, this is a story not about war, but peace. A man who chose to do nothing, and by doing nothing, saved everything. The world didn't end that night. Because of one quiet choice, it still turns.